The China Report for Thursday, May 9, 2013. China inflation data shows central bank policy dilemma. China's annual consumer inflation rose by more than expected in April while factory prices fell for a 14th consecutive month, highlighting the dilemma facing the central bank as it balances support for the economy against the threat of rising prices. With global growth sputtering, China's central bank has limited room to move, unlike counterparts in South Korea and Australia which both made surprise rate cuts this week. Any easing could fuel property market risks, while tightening would hurt a nascent recovery after economic growth unexpectedly slowed to 7.7% in the first quarter from 7.9% in the previous 3 months. Instead, the onus may be on the government to push structural reforms to help sustain long-term growth in the world's second-largest economy. China dowry filled with gold signals gains for jewelers. China's shadow banking sector tops $5.8 trillion. Just how big is China's shadow banking sector? According to JP Morgan Chase JPM, it is as large as 36 trillion yuan, $5.86 trillion. That's equivalent to 69% of China's gross domestic product and almost double what it was 2 years earlier. It is the rapid growth in shadow banking instead of its size that could generate systemic risk, JP Morgan's chief China economist, Haiben Zhu, wrote in a May 3 economic research note. Zhu points out that there is no clear definition of what makes up shadow banking. That means estimates for the size of China's sector have ranged from as low as 2 trillion to 3 trillion yuan as in a report last November by the Financial Stability Board, the body set up by the world's top economies after the global financial crisis, to 30 trillion yuan. There has been considerable discussion on the rapid growth of the shadow banking system in China, and as a consequence, the buildup of risks in China's financial sector, writes Zhu. Nevertheless, the term shadow banking is at best vaguely defined in China. China's registered nurses near 2.5 million. China's number of registered nurses reached 2.49 million at the end of 2012 amid the country's continuous efforts to build up its nursing population, a senior medical official said on Wednesday. That meant an increase of 1.15 million from 2005, said Li Bin, Minister of the National Health and Family Planning Commission. She gave the figures while reviewing China's progress in working to provide its people with better nursing services, at a meeting marking the upcoming International Nurses Day, which falls on May 12. Citing a telephone survey contracted through a third-party organization last year, Li said more than 93% of a total of 4,600 surveyed patients said they are satisfied with the nursing services they received. She said China will further grow its number of nurses and improve both the quality and scope of nursing services available in the country as the next step. China aims to bring its nursing population to 2.86 million by 2015, meaning there will be 2.07 nurses for every 1,000 people, according to a blueprint on nursing issued in January 2012. China punishes factories for pollution violations. China's environmental watchdog punished 15 factories, as well as companies and 2 industrial parks, in the first quarter of the year for violations that resulted in water or air pollution. The factories either had their production suspended, were given a deadline to correct their practices, or ordered to move their projects to other places and compensate those affected, said a release from the Ministry of Environmental Protection on Wednesday. The plants were mainly punished for excessive or illegal discharges of exhaust gas and wastewater, as well as noise and dust pollution, the statement said. In February, microblog posts revealed that some factories in the city of Weifang in East China's Shandong province had disposed of wastewater underground, thus polluting the local water supply. In response, the ministry said it has not found evidence that local factories have disposed of polluted water underground. Local environmental authorities, however, did find that some factories in a local industrial park failed to build wastewater disposal facilities and subsequently ordered them to correct their practices, the statement said. Environmental pollution scares have popped up across China, with heavy smog smothering large swaths of the country and the exposure of several water pollution incidents earlier this year. That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.